Hi. So, I'm not a political person. I've never voted, so I'm not biased. I just didn't agree with either parties for the longest time. And when I heard that Trump was gonna be president again, I thought to myself, that's strange. So I thought it was kind of weird considering he threw a huge hissy fit and a tantrum in the White House when they tried to get him out of there. So, and that was all over the news. So I know that people don't like independent voters. And I was always thinking, why? If independent voters are the majority, why are we picking such horrible presidents? So I looked into it and I read the DTS, declined to state, and I was mad about it because I thought, man, they took away our human rights. That independent voters aren't allowed to vote. They don't have a voice. That their votes, well, they're not counted. What it is you decline your vote to state. And then the party chooses whether or not they accept the vote. Either party. And then they send the ballot out. By the time the ballot comes back, the election's already over. I thought that was fishy. And I figured all this out just from reading and knowing that shit ain't right. Like, it doesn't sound right. It sounds wrong. Like, my moral code. So, I read some more after I told people about it. I got harassed a little bit, but, I was determined because I'm the kind of person who, I don't stand up for myself usually. I have CPTSD. So, and I survived 2 counts of attempted murder and 2 counts of torture plus 1 forced termination. And the woman got away with it because the cops in my hometown, Selma, California, are dirty. They slapped somebody I know that served their time because he was dependent on her because she would shoot him up with heroin. They slapped him with a felony when it's supposed to be a misdemeanor. That is evading a peace officer in California. It's a misdemeanor. It's only a felony if someone gets like hurt like extensively or if someone dies in the process. That's on foot or in vehicle. So there's one sign because they're threatening him with 9 years and no bail. So yeah, they're dirty and they wouldn't continue my... I was in the middle of moving out. She was jealous of me and I have a gut feeling that she is an undiagnosed sociopath. She has all of the I get tongue-tied. The traits and the characteristics. Anyways, so it was just unjustifiable. It was unjust. So I started watching the little political things, like, why are they so hateful towards California? And I was like, okay, I figured it out. LGBTQ, marijuana prohibition, independent state, spiritualists, the speed train, never finished, never intended to do it, causing mayhem. Anyways, but where was I? Sorry, I got CPTSD and TBI from it. Going back to Trump, sorry, because when I think of Trump, I relate to her. So when I thought something was fishy, I was just like, why did you throw a hissy fit in the first place? Why did they pull him out? And then I was talking about it, and I even asked the question on my profile. I said, can impeached presidents even get reelected? So I looked it up. No, they can't. And then it made me realize that totalitarianism, sorry, I get tongue-tied. I have dyslexia and ADHD. I went to government specialized program for the gifted and talented. I entered at 5 years old with an IQ of 130 or higher. So what happened was I looked up totalitarianism or whatever, and I realized that the description of that was closely related to the law of GTS in 1996, and it was modified in 2000 by Bill Clinton. So that just clarified that both houses are in on it. They get to choose to accept the votes or not. So they get to decide who's president. Meaning it doesn't matter who you vote, we're still under dictatorship. So people are panicking about all these crazy things, and I'm into metaphysics. So because everyone's freaking out, I'm not freaking out, and I'm hypervigilant. Like, my instincts are in tune to danger. Like, it's all BS. I mean, the threats against California is a little concerning, and I mean, the news is right. We did elect a felon as president, but he shouldn't have had access to run anyways because he's impeached. So there's nothing to worry about. What we need to worry about is being open-minded, self-identity, and healing. Because if I can do that when I suffered through the worst, anybody can do it. Like, I believe that we should start diagnosing light triad personalities. If there's a dark triad, there's a light triad. I think veterans should be law enforcement as long as they pass the test. So light triad is the opposite of the dark triad. The dark triad is Machiavellianism, psychopaths and sociopaths. And they're usually categorized as people who go into the job fields as CEOs and politicians. So they obviously have shown that they can't be trusted in government or leadership. So I think the only people that are trustworthy enough to do that would be everyday saints. That's what light triad is. If the dark triad is real, and we all know it's real, the light triad's real too. So I think they're the only people that should be trusted with government and leadership, because like they're the ones who, it's part of their personality. You're not going to be afraid of manipulation because that's not the kind of person they are. Like, literally, it's part of their personality. It would be a diagnosis, and you can't fake that kind of diagnosis. So I think that all of these people that were in on this dictatorship should go to federal prison for the rest of their life. I think that anybody involved should be thrown into federal prison. And I think we should reboot the system and start over. And I think we should start by that. I mean, I have other... So, like... Sorry, I got cut off. So, like, educational system, I think it should be equal opportunity. I think Jordan Peterson's right. Like, he's Canadian, but he's right. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Jordan. I love Canadians. I do. I think they got it right. The medical system's right. That's what I was thinking. Like, we should inspire our medical system off of theirs. I think it should be equal opportunity, like what he does. He created his own college, $40 a month. $100,000 in debt, or $40 a month to be a professional. It's a no-brainer. Like all of that stuff. Like, I think traditional doctors should be accredited. Traditional, because it goes back to ancient times. Isn't that proof enough that it works? If a method has been used since the beginning of time, it works. That's why when they proved that chiropractic therapy and acupuncture was for real a fact, they made it so you have to be a licensed professional so they can profit off of it. Traditional medicine, you can't profit off of it. But if you can prove it, you can steal it and profit. So I study aromatherapy and herbalism, metaphysics, and like apothecary. Like, I like dark academia, and that's just reading and writing all the time. Like, everyone says you shouldn't believe everything you read on the internet. You shouldn't watch too many videos. Reality check, if it's by professionals and it's professional resources, professional doctoral thesis, like all of that stuff. What's so bad? Like, no offense, Germany, it's not your fault. It's the people, it's the persons, not the people. Not your fault. Only Nazis burn books. Sorry. And then there's the Romans. Like, the Romans are universally hated. So, like, that's why I call bad people Romans. I call bad people Illuminati, because they're the boogeyman that's universally hated. Nobody would get offended by it. I don't call people Nazis because Germany didn't raise their flag for years. And it's not their fault. And, oh, guess what? I'm pagan. So, I really hope people take this shit seriously. Because, I mean, the speed rail, my apologies. I claim that I'm intellectual. I never claim to be smart. I'm self-educating because I was denied financial aid multiple times and denied SSI, even though whatever happened to me, and I have CPTSD, all of that. So I'm living on dimes because of welfare and my son's disability, because he's level 3 severe autistic nonverbal. So, and I just got accepted by IHSS to be his caregiver. So it's not much, but it makes me happy. I'm a provider for my son. I'm a single mom. So what got me started on all of this was, why are they being so hateful towards California? If they're gonna go after LGBTQ and like all of that other stuff, like, no offense, Christianity, it's a branch off. So some of you are legit good people. The other half are kind of like Trump. So they burned innocent women and daughters alive because they were doctors, because they were natural healers. That's genocide. So the fact that they were being so hateful towards California, so the fact that Christianity has a record of genocide, like, what went through my mind was, what about my son? He's disabled. What if they go after disabled people too? What if they throw us in nut houses and leave us in there to rot? Like American Horror Story, like the asylum, like, also claiming asylum seekers, worst title ever. I tried to tell the police that I was an asylum seeker because I suffered psychological torture. Legit, I have CPTSD. And they threw me in a mental hospital where they physically abused me. I was in my freeze reflex. I had black and purple bruises all over me, wrapped around my wrist, up my arms, up my legs, to the JJ, for like 3 weeks. That is a BS name. There's a lot of stuff that needs to change, but my point is, Trump can't be president because he's impeached. Impeached presidents can't be president. They would have to get permission from the Supreme Court. And if the Supreme Court knowingly accepts a felon or accepts any other from any side of the houses, either Republicans or Democrat, after this kind of stuff being exposed, then that proves that they're in on it too. It's like these people live forever. I'm serious. Like, when do they die? It's not a threat. Like, no, seriously. Like, if you think about it, how long do these people stay in power, man? It's just like do you retire at all? I should have said that. Do you retire at all? Like, seriously. Like, I don't understand. Anyways, but yeah. No one needs to be afraid because Trump's not president. Neither will Camilla be because of DTS. So, I hope people actually pay attention and take it seriously. I really do.